Earlier, Manju Mali showed me her take on a traditional baked rice dish, a biryani, a kind of pie. Well, in my eyes, but now it's my turn. I'm going to show you now my interpretation of a baked rice dish. And I'm taking my inspiration this time from Russia. And I'm making a Coulibiac, a pie wrapped in puff pastry and filled with rice, baked salmon and soft-boiled eggs. And I'm going to give it an extra kick by adding some spices. Over here, I've got some onions which are frying away. Now, this is where I'm going to ask for your help. I want to put some spices in there to give it a little bit of a kick, and which you want to sort of grind down. What would you advise I used? Well, you're using, as I can see, parsley and dill. Yep. So you don't want to mess up the flavours too much. So I'd use some basic spice, such as cumin seeds and a bit of coriander. I'll give you your toy. OK. So what are you going to throw in there first? What I'm going to add is a bit of cumin, a touch of coriander. Yep. Now, what you could do is toast them on a dry pan and then grind them up. OK. But you can do this, it's fine. Well, if that's just ground down, I'm going to chuck it in with the onions. Yeah, so I'll just fry that out slightly. Yeah. OK. Now, is that being ground down? Not totally. Don't you want sort of bits of spice? I don't mind if it's got little chunky bits in there. OK, you want chunky bits? No, I quite like that. All right, here you go. Here's some parsley ground, yeah? Lovely. Happy? That's perfect. OK. I'll throw that straight in. OK, so I've got the onions in there with the spices that Manju's carefully selected, into which I'm going to add some mushrooms. Now, the mushrooms are in there. It's going to release a little bit of water in there as well. Now, all I'm going to do is build up the basic rice dish. On top of that, I'm going to put some salmon, on top of that an egg, and then encrust the whole thing in puff pastry. Now, that would take a couple of minutes. I'll turn the heat down a little bit. And the rice is completely cooked? Yes, now the rice is completely cooked. What I'm going to do is just mix it with the mushrooms, the onions, a little bit of zest of lemon. Now, that's going to go inside there with the mushrooms now. That will do. Is this like a salmon en croûte type dish? Well, that's all a pie is, really. I always think of a pie as being a dish that basically is whatever you're cooking wrapped up in a shell, and then everything is in there, and it's keeping nice and moist. Now, if I just turn that heat off now... It's really quick. So once you've got that in there, a little bit of seasoning, and then leave that to cool. It takes about a good half an hour because you can't use the hot mixture going on top of the pastry, because the whole point when you're making a pie, you've got to keep your puff pastry nice and cold. That's how you get the laminations in there, that's how you get the steam, and that's why it jumps. Tip the rice mixture into a bowl. Now I'm adding some roughly chopped parsley and dill, but you could use coriander or any of your favourite herbs. Leave to cool before wrapping in puff pastry. I've made mine, but shop-bought will work too. So this is the base of the Coulibiac. I'm just going to stretch slightly. And over there, could you pass me that dish, please? Over here, I have my cooled rice. Yes. So I'm going to get my hands in there. You can use implements if you want. I like to get my hands in there because I need to shape this. Well, you've washed them, so it's all right. I have. So again, run this down the middle. Keep it nice and neat. The filling is completely cold? Yes, the filling is completely... If I was to put warm rice on this, the whole thing about the puff pastry will melt and you wouldn't get that rise. And so the whole idea at this stage is to keep everything as cool as possible. So again, make it nice and neat so you've got a channel running down, right down the middle. Take it close to the end and then square it off like so. That's a good level of rice. The next thing you're going to add to this dish is the salmon. Obviously cooked, and you want to break the pieces off and lay them neatly across the top. Try not to get any down the side. I want to try and build up some layers in this. Finally, top with sliced boiled eggs. Make sure it's nice and neat. Then over here, I've got just basically a beaten egg. Now, this is going to be the sealant for the top. So brush it all around the edge. Get your lid. Pop that onto the top. And then push it right the way down onto the tray. Be quite firm with it. It's like a blanket, really. And so what I'm going to do is just trim this down a little bit, neaten it up all the way around. I like to then give it a little bit of decoration around the outside. Basically 2 fingers and your thumb, go round and seal it all off and make it look a bit more attractive. Finally, egg wash on the top. Now, what I tend to do as well, you can, what I call double egg washing. So what you can do with this is then pop this in the fridge, leave it for about half an hour for the eggs to set, re-egg wash it, and then using the back of a blade, the blunt bit, you just run your knife over the top, and that makes little indentations in the egg, which gives it a nice pat when it comes out the oven. Now, that needs to be baked for about 25 minutes at 180 in the oven. Now, this will go beautiful golden brown. Leave it in there. It'll all puff up and look absolutely gorgeous. So this one I'm going to pop in the fridge just to chill it down, and it'll be ready to go in the oven. However, I have one in the oven, ready just for you.
Thank you. All for me. Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Wow.
There you have it. Look how flaky it is. It's even flaking off as we speak. That is my version of a baked rice dish, the Coulibiac. My Coulibiac is best served with roasted onions, carrots and parsnips, or simply as a supper on its own with a sour cream dill sauce. For me, today has been all about flavours, starting with my shallot, chive and onion tart with the help of Dr. Mariel Jones. And we brought back an old-fashioned flavour in my chocolate and peppermint roulade, thanks to the hard work of Sir Michael Coleman and Ian Margetts. And of course, Manju's biryani with that lid, full of Indian spices, which I can't wait to try. Finally, my Coulibiac, salmon and egg in a pie. It's going to be delicious. There must be a gap on there somewhere.
just a little bit. I'm waiting for this, so that's fine.
Thank you very much for coming today, and I hope you enjoy this spread of food that we've all got. I think there's enough here to feed a very small army. So tuck in, guys, and tell me what you think. Okay. First, it's my shallot, chive and onion tart.
The tart's awesome.
The lemon, the onion tart. It's that sweetness in the tart, isn't it? It's coming through.
Absolutely. It's sweet, but with a bit of savoury in there. It's great.
Yeah. I'm hoping my guests enjoy the chocolate and peppermint roulade.
It's quite light, actually.
It is. But in fact, the thing that lightens it up is your peppermint oil. It just lifts it up. It's lovely. I'm certainly going to use that one again.
Oh, good.
Me too.
Finally, it's the pies. Manju's biryani and my puff pastry Coulibiac.
I do like this biryani.
Yeah.
Fantastic flavours.
Do you like the Coulibiac?
I think it's
The layers of the egg.
beautiful.
It's all about texture, isn't it? Textures, flavours.
Absolutely, isn't it? You're right.
I think the onion tart goes really well with the biryani, actually. It does.
Different cultures,
It
different
does.
cuisines.
Yeah, it does go well together. This is what it's all about. A groaning table, great food and great company. Join me again next time on Pies and Puds. Does anyone want some more roulade?